What is up? So today was an absolute banger. So coming into the morning, didn't trade. It was FOMC, so we're opening at 2, and then FOMC statement is going to be at 2:30. Now at 2, we see on the right ES wicked super low. Actually, both of these are ES, but then we move over to NQ. NQ didn't have this wick, so I was thinking that more so ES was the one that was manipulative. So there was an SMT here. It was a data low. That I was kind of like, well, that is something that we could hunt, but price is not presenting towards that yet. So we've got the 5-minute for value gap. We ended up seeing, so those blue lines up on the left are the opening range gap from regular trading hours that never got traded into. So there's that gap. And then there was like 3 or 4 buy side levels that were all stacked right underneath it. Price had moved lower. It had closed above the change in the state on the 15-minute. And overall price was just like, it was super bullish. We were respecting the 15-minute. For value gaps, this was the second one that got redelivered. And then, so we see I'm looking at this. I'm like, well, we've got that data wick. There is this rebalance. And then, so 2:30 just opened. Are we going to move lower? Are we going to close through this change in the state and start running lower? Or is price just going to respect the 5-minute, sweep out this internal liquidity, and then start displacing higher? There, as we see here, we're just sitting in this 5-minute for value gap. I knew that there was really nothing here that was that bearish. We were respecting the hourly sell side inefficiency, but overall price, as we see here, never closed to the change in the state, and it just swept internal liquidity. So I'll speed this up here. We continue to just kind of seem like we're going to go lower, but like nothing's really happening here. So we just continue to build price action. We're waiting. The first 30 minutes of FOMC have already happened, so I'm at a spot where I can take a trade if I want. We've already seen manipulation. And overall, we have this SMT, which price has returned to equilibrium of this recent move. And then we get this push up here in a second through the inverse for value gap on the 1-minute on both assets. And we're supporting the 5-minute. And then we close through the recent 2 down close candles along with the inverse for value gap, and we're supporting the 5-minute. So this is where I take my setup.
Order filled.
Had my stop below the low, and then we'll see it takes about 9 minutes for this one. This is something where time and price are aligned. So we have FOMC that has opened, a really big news driver that is going to basically inject liquidity into the market, and that's why we see such a big move in such a short amount of time. So I was targeting 280 points away. I ended up taking it off earlier than that just because I wanted to take low-hanging fruit, and then I went break even at the highs that we had just generated 30 minutes prior. So then after this, we finally close. We get the change in the state. Price continues to just run these highs. We had generated equal highs on both of these internally. So my stop's already at break even. And now I'm just risk-free in this. It's FOMC. We're looking for it to be volatile. And that is also part of why I want to protect myself, because it could fucking just shit and take a dump and stop me out. And on FOMC, I just want to be careful with that. So we've got 9:30 open as this first level, and then there's 2 more buy side levels, and then obviously more of that. And then we see standard deviation from that 15-minute move where we moved lower, higher, lower, and then we displace higher through the change in the state. I was trailing my stop once we started getting up here. Overall, this was just super clean. This is one where everything is aligned, and like FOMC can be probably the best news driver to send price somewhere, but that's if it actually presents towards everything aligning. I mean, if I was in multiple contracts, I would have obviously trimmed at 930 here. I would have probably trimmed at that internal liquidity, but I held out. I felt pretty confident that we were going to return to the opening range gap, and that was kind of just what I was waiting for. We ended up going back to the opening range gap, and then that was basically, I had taken my position off before that when we tapped standard deviation and this high that we have here. And then at that point, I was just out and done. After that move had been made, after it hit the opening range gap, price just completely sold back off, took out the data low that was engineered in the beginning of FOMC, and then it just kind of
Order
took a
filled.
huge shit. So that was a super good trade. Really good day to come back from yesterday after that. So yeah. That was fucking solid. Holy shit. Everything aligned, bullish. Had that internal model. Fucking executed, banked it. Supported the 5 minute and the 15 minute was bullish. It was all really good. I'm happy with that. 463, that's fucking money. So we moved higher and tapped 2.5 or 2 to 2.5 standard deviation. And the way that we wicked up there, I was just cautious, took a hanging fruit. Could have felt there more, but that was 2 sell side levels. I still think we're going higher, but taking a 3R with 1 contract, fucking 220 points is not too shabby, so. I will take it.